inkproducts.com has now released its newest refill kit. We're going to show you in this video how to turn your HP cartridges into refillable cartridges with our new COC Smart Chips that are going to reset the ink levels when it goes empty back to full. You've got the 951, 950, 933, 932, and then their new 711 cartridges. They're all the same. So this video is going to cover all of them. Now first we're going to take off the HP chip. Okay, I'm going to show you that chip right there. We're going to use a lighter or any type of heat source to take it off, and then you're going to need some type of X-Acto knife or something so you can pick the chip off, because we need to take that chip off. To demonstrate how to take that chip off, we're just heating it. We're not trying to melt the plastic, just enough so we'll be able to pick that chip off. Okay, now get on the side of the chip and you'll be able to peel it right off. There, it's already off. Now the next thing we're going to do, and I use a 5/16 drill to do it. I'm going to countersink down a little bit so the new COC chip will fit. The crystal will go down in there. So now you're going to go in there and you're going to, like I said, countersink a hole right there. Not all the way through, but just enough for the crystal to go in. Talking about that's going to go down into, going right in the center, and we're turning that drill to make that countersink. You got to go deep enough so the chip will lay flat. Now some people can use a Dremel tool or something like that, but you got to be careful. We don't want to damage that end. That's why you don't want to overheat it. We're going to keep doing it. Then we're going to put a glue dot in the center, and that's going to hold the chip onto the cartridge. Take, and this comes in the kit, a glue dot. We're going to stick a glue dot right down into that countersunk hole there, and that's going to hold the chip on, which we're going to show you how to do to put on there, and then that'll hold it against the crystal. We got a close up here so you can see. Okay, now we're going to press it real firm in there. Only one. Do not use two, only one. Once we get in there, we're going to peel back on that plastic and take it out. Okay, now we're going to take the chip with the crystal facing down and the contacts forward. We're going to lay it down in there so it's flush. It's very important that that chip is flushed up front so you damage the contact springs in the printhead. So take your time. If it doesn't look deep enough, do it again. Chip on, and I centered it. Let me see if I can get closer and then you can see. I'm lining it up. There you go. Now it's going to stick up a little bit in the back, so let me give you a side shot. But that's okay, as long as the front is flush down along the edge. Now the reason why we use glue dots is because if the chip should fail at any time, you could just take it off and put a new one on. You don't have to use any glue or any of that. And these are pretty strong. They'll hold that on there for a long time. And you're going to do all of them exactly the same way. Now this next step, we're going to show you how to drill a hole in the bottom and fill them up. And that's how you're going to keep filling them. Now in one of the videos, we told you not to drill it. That's correct. But now we found out the proper place to drill it, and we have these new refill plugs that fit real tight. And I'm going to show you why you got to be careful where you drill it. The other thing is, by going through the exit hole, we found over time that gasket there can become damaged and a leak in the printer. So that's why we're going refilling through the back here like this. And they're all the same, whether you have the 950, 951, or even the 932, 933s. We're going to show you inside the cartridges look like. There's a little bag in there. That's why you got to be careful where you put the hole. We're going to do that in a minute. And in the instructions we give you the correct measurements. But basically it's going to line right up with that label right there. That's why we don't drill in the front or anywhere else, because you can damage it. And there's the spring and the ball. Now sometimes what I do is I'll put a piece of old clear hose on the edge. The reason why I do it, that doesn't come with the kit, but you know, you can figure your own way to do it. I just don't want to have the drill go in too deep, and I'm not going to use an electric drill. See, that stops me from going all the way in. So now we'll drill a hole. It's going to be right on the edge, come straight up. We're going to slowly turn it. And by having that little piece of hose on there, I find that then there's less chance for me to push too hard. And then you're going to clean it all off, and then you're going to get a little rubber plug that you'll be putting in there. There you go. We just broke through into it. Okay, now we went through. Now sometimes you got to hold it up to do it. You don't get enough pressure pushing down like this to drill it in. But you can figure that out. You know, sometimes I'll hold it like that and use my right hand to go in there. Now you should see a little ink come out, and then we'll take the drill out. That's it. We're going to back it out and clean it off. Little paper towel. Okay. Now if there's any burrs on around it up here, then what you want to do is just clear that off. But you're going to be putting this clear plug that we're going to give you in there. We'll give you extra ones. So if you lose it, you'll have extra. The first time you put it in, it's really hard to push in. Then after that, it goes in a lot easier. Cleaned around that hole. Now we're going to put the plug in. Like I said, the first time you put it in, it's tough to push it in. But then the second or third time, it goes right in. Now we use the end of the drill sometimes to push it down in there. Like I said, the first couple times you do this, you know, it just takes a little time. There, it's already in. That's it. So all you have to do. You haven't damaged anything. You don't have to worry about the X support gasket getting damaged. That's how simple it was to do that. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to fill it. In the refill kit, we're going to give you the syringe, a long tip, and we're going to show you how to take the plug out, fill it up. So when you're printing along, it says cannot recognize, or when you're printing along, it says depleted. Take it out, fill it, put it back in, the ink level will set back to full. I always do, and you'll see a lot of the videos when I do it, I always make a little box to hold my bottle of ink. And then I also cut out the box, it'll hold the cartridge. So this way it frees up my hands so I don't have to worry about knocking the cartridge over. So we're going to take the plug out of the cartridge, and then you'll be able to fill it right through that hole. Now you don't want to go all the way in with the tip, because there is that bag in there. You just go in there, a quarter of an inch, just till you fill it up. And you're going to fill it up till the ink comes right to the top. So fill up your syringe. Now this is Ultra Pro pigmented ink. It's American made ink. It's the best ink you can get. Go through the hole and just take your time. Just take your time. And you just keep filling it up. I can see the ink with using the camera here. I can see it's starting to come to the top. So we're just going to give it a little bit more and then put the plug in. Now you want to have some paper towel handy. A little bit might spill along this here, but don't worry about it. You can wipe it right up. There, see? That can happen. That's why you got to go slow. So we're going to get a paper napkin and wipe that up. And then we'll put the plug in. Okay. Now I showed that because that's what can happen. And you need to know that, because if you go too fast, that can happen. Now we're going to stick the plug in and that's it, ready to go. Like I said, first couple times with that plug, it's a little tight. Then use the back end of that drill to make sure it's down in there. That's it. That's how simple it was. Now we've tested these refillable cartridges and we don't recommend them. We don't sell them. They leak in the printer. They're not stable. So if you see these on the internet, we recommend you don't use them. What we recommend is you use the HP cartridge. Works the best. We find that there's very little problems with them and very few failures. First install the cartridges, they're going to show that they're non-HP cartridges. Just press OK. And then it'll go to prepare the printer. Sometimes it'll pop up and say counterfeit or used cartridges. Just say OK. 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 Now let's go up and take a look at the ink levels, because I've used them. Now those are showing question mark, so I'm going to fill them up. I've got yellow and I'm fairly low on my black. So I'm going to go over, because I've been using these cartridges, and I'm going to fill them up and then put them back in, and those ink levels will go back up. Important, you always push from the bottom right here. Don't push from the top, because we've tried it even with the HP cartridges, and sometimes you'll damage the springs, contact spring. So always push from the bottom. That's the way to take them in and out. Okay, now I just fill them back up. I'm going to put them in. Now there again, I just want to point this out. Go push from the bottom, then it'll lock in. If you push from the top, it'll pop out. It doesn't always lock in. Okay, let's put the other one in. Now we'll be able to close the printer cover and go over here and see what happens. Give it a second. It's going to say non-HP cartridge. That's okay. Give it a second. It's going to go in to prime up, just like an HP cartridge. Now both of those ink levels will be set back to full. Go up to the color here. There you go. My levels are set back to full. That's how simple it is to fill the cartridge, reset your ink levels. It primes the cartridge up. You're done.